Good morning and welcome to this week's Wednesday with Warbus. I'm here with Amanda Davis. She's our public relations person, and she started a new program last year, as you know, an internship program, and it's grown even bigger this year. And we're hoping to continue to grow and add internships maybe across the city, the district. Very excited about it. So she's going to share with us kind of how it has evolved this year into more students and just more categories of things, and it's a great opportunity for our students to learn more things and be ready more for the workforce.
So I knew that with the social media and the rise in social media and the different algorithms that there are, you need to post so many times and there's so many things to do. I knew I needed a little bit of help, but I also knew that a full-time or half-time paid person wasn't necessarily in the best interest of the district. So several districts around the state have used this internship program, and so last year we started an internship program. Last year we had 3 interns, and they worked with me, went to the radio station, did some social media posting, did some press releases, those kind of things. So it was an interview process, and so when that internship was ending, we kind of looked at what were the needs across the district, what stories were we not telling, because that's kind of our thing, is we want to tell our story. And so what stories weren't getting told, where were we lacking, and came up with the idea to do 4 interns this year. 2 interns are with the public relations department. They're with me, and they're doing things that I would do on a normal daily basis. And then we also added a fine arts intern. We've got a lot of great things going on across the district in the fine arts departments, and so we added a fine arts intern, and then we also added a sports media intern that can come along and really support the athletic department as well.
Yeah, I think it's well, it helps us, obviously. I like interacting, what little bit I get to interact with them, I like to hear their perspective about these public schools and let them tell the story from their viewpoint, which is interesting instead of us. They consider us old, but it's just, I really like their point of view of what is important to them, because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. There were 2 things last year that kind of came out of the internship that I was really proud of. One, all 3 young ladies that were in the internship program last year learned something about the process of school, whether it was the board meetings and the bond, because last year they got to help with the bond. So they learned kind of how the school district works as opposed to just sitting in class all day long as a high school student. And then the other one fell in love with education, and so she actually is at our early childhood center this year as a teaching aide, a teacher's assistant, while she's going to school at WOSC. So that's kind of fun too, that they, if they don't go on in public relations or marketing or journalism or something like that, then maybe they do fall in love with education and we can recruit teachers that way.
Well, I think that segues perfect into Griffin. Introduce everyone to Griffin and kind of his plan for his future.
So this is Griffin Marshall. He is our sports media intern. Griffin filled out his application, and he's been a perfect fit. Griffin comes every morning. He actually is getting an internship credit. He comes every morning at 8 a.m. and was with me here at the office from 8 a.m. to about 9 o'clock. So Griffin, why don't you just go ahead and tell us?
He's a senior.
He is a senior. He's a senior at Altus High School. He's a baseball player.
Very good baseball player.
Tell us let's start out with just why. Why did you choose to apply for the internship?
When I started, I had a little interest in wanting to be a sports media in college and professionally, and then I got into it and I ended up really liking it. I've gotten to do the social media aspect. I've gotten into radio broadcast on Thursdays at 8, every Thursday, and I've also got introduced into the Oklahoma Sports Network broadcast, so I'm doing color call for the basketball games. I got to produce for all the football games. We've done softball, volleyball, and then
the coaches show.
Yeah, the coaches show every Wednesday for football season.
Tell us about you go to the radio station every Thursday. I know there's been times where we've been swamped. I've had to have Amanda with me, and you've gone on your own.
Yeah.
How'd that go? Were you nervous or?
Maybe the first time,
yeah.
But I've been doing it for a long time now. I don't know how many weeks, but I've gotten comfortable doing it, and I pretty much just give give a brief overview and summary of the past week and the future week, and then the current week of sports for Altus.
And then
So
Oklahoma Sports Network, which
Mhm.
is the Altus channel. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It's great. You started out behind the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and then you
Yeah.
had the opportunity to actually call some games.
Mhm.
And I heard you crack some jokes, and you're really good at it. So tell us kind of how that was the first time you actually were on the air.
Like my first time doing a broadcast.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was producer, so I was behind the scenes listening to Coach Clothier and Coach Tovar, and so I've kind of got a little bit of both of them when I talk.
The best of both.
Yeah. So I got the quiet and the really loud and excited. So I think my first time in front was a volleyball game. I think they were playing Dell City, and it was me and Jordan Guyton, who used to be an intern for them, and I was really nervous. And I was really excited to call a volleyball game, but I never called a volleyball game before. I didn't even know how to talk about volleyball. So I kind of just went with the flow and just made up a couple stuff along the way. And now I'm doing all the basketball games. So I got like 20 left. Done 2 so far.
Okay. Tell us. Sorry.
I was gonna say, so the really cool thing is that these interns come in with some social media experience. I mean, I think kids these days all have a phone in their hands, but they get to learn the algorithm, and they learn what times are best to post and what gets the most reaction. Griffin's really good about watching to see how many people interact. He's also come up with some things that we weren't doing before, and having a sports intern allows us to do that. But we do a player of the week every week. He does a weekly schedule every week, and those things just weren't getting out into the public on social media the way that he's been able to do that.
What is that page? I was going to ask about that page.
AltusAthletics.org, and Altus Athletics on social media, Instagram and Facebook. And then we also have a fine arts channel as well, and so our fine arts page as well, and it's just Altus Bulldogs Fine Arts. And so you can go there and get the latest of what's going on with the fine arts, the music, our Walking on Chalk students that participated, the band. So a lot of musical was covered there as well. So a lot of good information out there. And then the other 2 interns, the Reagan and Maddie, they come in the afternoons, and they help cover just kind of all the different things that you see with us, whether it's website, whether it's social media, press release, different things like that. Griffin has a different perspective because he actually is here 5 days a week. It worked out in his schedule where he could actually have a class and get a credit. I have Reagan Harmon and Maddie Leifer, who both have college classes, but they have some time in the afternoons, so they come in when they're available in the afternoons. And then Jess Sadoy, who is the fine arts intern, he also is in the biomed program and at college. So he comes in Tuesdays and Thursdays around 10:30, and so they're getting a little bit different perspective than Griffin is, because Griffin's here every day, 8 o'clock. What is your favorite experience so far with the internship program?
Every week I love getting to do the Athlete of the Week post, because I get to follow everybody's stats, and I'm a stat guy, so I get to go through everybody's stats, find pictures of them, and make a cool little thing to post about them. What's your favorite thing that you've done so far?
Probably doing Instagram posts and helping with Wednesdays with Orbis. It was really fun to do, and I'm glad I get to continue until I graduate.
Well, I think it's a great program. I can't wait to see how it evolves into more interns in different areas of Altus Public Schools, and then different interns throughout the city of Altus in the businesses. Well, that's the direction that we're headed. It's just a matter of getting there. Thank you for all you do. I'm anxious to see your next project. And as always, may God continue to bless Altus Public Schools.